New beginnings when it comes to change and transformation can certainly be on your particular path. This can be a time of rich, deep transformations, rich, deep shifts that you make within yourself that are powerful, that are potent, and they are premiered. This is a time filled with setting new intentions on what you need to release from your life in order to live a more full, more vibrant version of who you are. That is what is going on the new moon in Scorpio on November 1st. This new moon is powerful because we have Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto in Capricorn. That represents a power conflict. Difficulty when it comes to expressing your power. Things can be short, sharp, and incisive. And we can find that we have a lot of power to exude and harness within ourselves. And Mars opposite Pluto points to personal empowerment. More on that in the next video. But for now, let's take a look at this new moon in Scorpio. Let's talk about the astrology November 1st and November 2nd, breaking down every aspect, one aspect at a time, to fully richly understand the unique impressions of what we're truly getting at here. Let's talk about this new moon in Scorpio, first of all. The sun and moon always conjunct in the same sign during a new moon, during any one solar eclipse. And so the sun is our life force energy, our vitality, what we need in order to shine out in the world. The moon is more feminine. We come home to that ourselves when we're done going about our daily activities. Our inner self, the self that is raw, that wants to be nurtured, that wants to be nourished, that wants to be loved, and recognized for who you are at a subjective level. That's the moon. When the sun and moon conjunct, it cancels each other out. The sun and moon cancel each other out, meaning that it is a highly internal time now when the sun and moon conjunct, especially in probably the most introverted sign of them all, Scorpio. This is especially inner healing, shadow work, going into reflection, doing self care. All these things conjoin within each other when it comes to a new moon. This new moon is happening in Scorpio. It's symbolized by the scorpion, the phoenix, the snake, and the eagle, all of which form the story of Scorpio. The scorpion, it can sting. The phoenix, it can rise from the ashes. The snake, it can release what no longer serves it. And the eagle, empowerment and freedom, liberation. So let's talk about this new moon in Scorpio. So this puts an emphasis on how we share our resources, how we really put ourselves out there, and how we share our resources, how we share these things that we collect, these things that we have so immutile to us. What are the things that we need to distribute out there and share rather genuinely? What are those resources? Are we keeping them within ourselves and we're not um, able and willing to share them? Or are we willing to share them, to put them out there, to make it known to the world what our gifts are through these things that we're sharing, who we are, what we're into, that kind of thing. This is a time filled with intimacy, seeing people at the deepest level, on a soul level, for who they truly are, underneath all the masks, underneath all the ego developments, but who they are on a soul level. Scorpio represents who you are on a soul level. Investments, banking, hedge funds, inheritances. These are all Scorpio eighth house matters that could become illuminated now. This is a time filled with deep strength and intensity, and also transformation, moving from the person that you were at one level and moving to a higher, more ascended level, taking the version that you were and alchemizing it, turning lead into gold. It's very alchemical, where we are evolving to another version of ourselves that is different. We're changing, releasing, shedding our skin. We're shedding old layers that we don't need anymore. We're shedding old patterns that no longer serve us. Whatever it is, this is a time of deep transformation. This is time to begin transformation to the versions of yourself that you need to be. Doing the healing work. Doing that healing work is really, really important. It's not going to be fast or quick or overnight, but if you can do it one step at a time, do that healing work, you'll find that you go far in your life. This is a time where we want to delve into others' secrets. We want to delve into the secrets of the world. We want to delve into the mysteries of the world, find the truth of what's actually going on. This is a time to speak your mind as well. Communicate what you're passionate about. When we need to hear other people's opinions and decide what opinions, what thoughts do we agree with, and what thoughts and opinions do we disagree with. Discerning between these things and choosing to follow what resonates and put aside the rest, choosing to act upon the pieces of information that hold the truest light and space for us can be a healing balm that we can find at this time. During this lunation, the moon is trine Saturn. So the moon is going to trine Saturn on November 1st. Saturn's in Pisces. The moon is in Scorpio. This is a water trine. With this trine of the moon and Saturn, which is the taskmaster planet, the discipline, the responsibilities, the duties, the obligations, we can find that we're opening up to new solutions for problems, new ways of going about problems that we never considered before. Yet they hold rich bricks in the traditional ways of doing things. We have very strong organizational ability at this time. We can organize things into an efficient, effective sort of system and get what we need done in an orderly way. This is a good time to evaluate what are your commitments? What are you committed to? Who are you committed to? And putting more focus on those commitments that you have, whatever those commitments might be for you. You may have a greater sense of common sense at this time, able to make decisions from your common sense, able to act with common sense. This is also good for looking back at old photo albums and reinvigorating, reminiscing memories of what was in your past. Looking back on these things and reflecting on them to see the memories of what was before. So, looking back at the old photo albums to look at your treasured memories with family, with friends. This is also very, very good for stepping out of your comfort zone while still maintaining stability. You're keeping your stable structures in place, but you're also moving into new forms of being, into new ways of living, into getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things, taking risks with the Saturnian calculations. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now's the time to stick to the traditional ways of doing things that works for you. If it works for you, keep doing it. Now's the time. Honor those traditions. Honor those ways of doing that work. This is a time to take care of your duties and responsibilities for yourself, but also for other people. Really attending to these responsibilities and duties that you have. Is it pedicuring the manager? Is it haircutting the dresserini? Is it cooking for this neighbor? Whatever it is, these duties and responsibilities hold water weight for us in the grand scheme of things that we have to be attentive and available to help, to support, to aid these types of matters in our own individual lives. This is a time to create a balance between emotional responsibility and playfulness. You're being responsible, you're doing the things that you need to get done, you're doing the do things while still having a playful sense of, I want to do this thing just for the heck of it. I want to enjoy this activity over here. I want to sing the Zula songs. I want to paint the Zula paintings. I want to run outside and be free and caressing. We can find that we have these inspirations to do things that we just truly want to do for just playing fun. No limit on it, no due date on it, no deadline on it, just activities that we do for fun. So balancing these things out, balancing what our responsibilities are and what we need to do for our emotional security is hyper important now. And so it's important also to be responsible for your emotional reactions. If you feel reactive, then take responsibility for those reactions. This is very huge now. This is the time to evaluate again what you're committed to and go after your goals and ambitions. This is a time to develop a disciplined approach to going after these things. Develop this kind of approach. It's important also to be, first of all, disciplined when it comes to going after, setting a structure, picking it right way, going after the right way things, sort of dotting, and getting to where you need to go. But it's important that you have a structure, but that you're also flexible and open to change if things don't go exactly as you planned for them to go, of how to approach your goals. So it's very, very important that we balance these things out now. This is a good time to honor your heritage while also charting your own course as well. Um, so honoring where you came from, honoring your lineage, your past family roots, your ancestors, all of these things, and then chart your own course. So I'm going to do this thing different. I'm going to invent this thing. I'm going to break out of this family line in this positive way. I'm going to revolutionize this. This is the kind of thing that we need to have. The Saturn-Uranus combination of Aquarius. That's what we need to reach for right now. What are the foundations that you need to set in your life? Now's the time to set those strong foundations. Okay, so let's move into another part, another dimension of this video where I reveal to you the oracle cards that I pull for each and every day. Today I'm using the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I now have all five of her decks getting the Rose Oracle today, which I won't be using on these videos, but all her decks are similar. They each have a picture, they all have a name, and they all have some key words down at the bottom. So they're all similar in a way. This is the only deck with the normal top box. The others have like a triangle shaped box where you put the pieces together. So anyway, this was her very, very first deck, Worth Your Light. I should mention that it was out by the time that the movie Mary Poppins Returns came out in theaters. This deck was out by then. And I mention this because Rebecca reminds me of that movie Mary Poppins Returns and Emily Blunt. And also, um, maybe this deck was unconsciously and intentionally based on Mary Poppins. Who knows? So, the very, very first card that I chose, this card is for November 1st for the new moon. And the card that I pulled, where I asked the question, I shuffled the cards. What does the collective need to know for November 1st? The card I got is Trust Your Path. Trust your path. The key words are if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? That's a little meditation, contemplativity question. So now is the time to face your true north, to have a high sense of what your true north is. What is your destiny? What are you reaching for? What is a goal or an aspiration or a multiplication that you are reaching for? And now's the time to take one step at a time when it comes to this, taking one small step per day at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. It is going to happen over time. Know that if you follow what lights you up, if you do what lights you up, you will light the world up in ways without even trying. That's a transmission that really came through with this card is um, really um, doing what excites you, what enlivens you, what invokes your sense of um, joy ultimately. And when you do this, you will be a beacon of force and lighting the world up in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. Like doing these videos lights me up. And I'm probably lighting you up doing these videos. That's my example. This is a time to look back on the achievements time away from now, looking at how far you've come, taking those steps one step at a time, putting the work in, and doing it in a disciplined, structured way, in a practical way, in a committed way, and then looking back a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, and going, wow, all that work I've done, I've come so far, patting yourself on the back for that, acknowledging all that you've done. This is huge now. The path that you chart also, that you go upon, may not be as planned. It may not be as you planned it out to be. But whatever happens, be it if you plan it out or if you didn't plan it out and something happens that changes your plans, changes you're going on this path and you suddenly vigor over there, vigor over here, then that is for your highest good. That is for your blessing. That is for your benefit. That it doesn't go as planned because it will be beyond what you can imagine. Now, moving on to November 2nd, we have several aspects happening today. The first of which is Mercury will trine Mars. So Mercury is in Scorpio, Mars is in Cancer towards the end of their signs. This Mercury trine Mars will give you the confidence to take calculated risks. The confidence here to take risks that are well thought out, that are planned out, that are mapped out in these kind of ways. You may become more confident in your thoughts and in your words at this time. So really speak from your heart, speak from your truth, be confident, and speak with passion. It's important to be honest and have a straightforward style of communication. Being honest in your communications. And being very direct in what you communicate. Not being vague, not going over here, not going over there, but being very straightforward, being very on point with what you want to communicate. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to get it. This is what I need from you. This is what I would like to see from you. That kind of thing. That direct, honest, and numpha what you're doing. This is a perfect time to defend your loved ones or an issue that you care deeply about, either of which is wonderful. So, be it you're defending the people that you love and you're standing up for them, you have a lot of passion, you have a lot of pride, you have a lot of exuberance, or an issue that you truly value, that holds a special place in your heart. You'll find that you're more productive at this particular time, so being productive, getting things done, great at this time. This is good for tackling your to-do list with determination and efficiency as well. Your mind may be very sharp, may have an enhanced focus. You may have greater concentration, greater focus on a particular issue, on a particular goal that you're aiming for. So you can find that your mind is more sharp, pinpointed, and jet pointed at a particular goal, and your tongue is outside of your mouth. That's how focused you are. And so ambition with a need for adaptability and balanced ambition. So being ambitious, doing your goals, doing these goals, fulfilling these goals, but you are adaptable. You're willing to change. You're open to change. Communicate your ideas effectively while remaining open to other people's perspectives. Communicate it with passion and then listen and be receptive to what others have to say and what their perspectives and viewpoints are. Is that a deal? So articulating your ideas boldly and persuasively is also wonderful at this time. So articulating these ideas in a very strong, straightforward kind of way that convinces others, that puts others on your side, that brings others to your team, basically, puts them in the ants nest of life. Physical exercise is very, very good now because you can burn off your frustrated, angry, mad, enjavelated energy and return yourself to a state of peace by doing this. Once you exercise, you feel a great sense of accomplishment and a greater sense of peace now that you've released those emotions. And you find that you have a clearer roadmap to follow at this time, a clear path that you're going in, and you have the focus and determination to go on that path. Another aspect we have going on this day is Mercury will sextile Pluto. When Mercury hits 29 degrees of Scorpio, it sextiles Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So this brings about depth and intensity to your communications. You're more deep, you're more probing, you're more enuvelated this time. This is good for learning astrology or delving into psychology. Any sort of occult topic may be good now. It's also good to understand your psychology on a deeper level. So delving into your psychology, how you think, how you operate on the mental realm of things. So how others operate, how you operate, taking this psychological dive, going beneath the surface, not skimming the surface, not listening to someone say something and go, all right, that's enough. No, digging deeper, digging further, reaching your own conclusions by digging deeper into this piece of information, and looking into it further, taking the initiative, being independent and being sovereign, and digging into information further and seeing if you're going to reach the same conclusions, if you're going to reap the same results. So that's what this is all about. This is good for deep study, studying deeply into things, being very intelligent, delving deeply into something. Your intellect may be very, very powerful now, very palpable, very ennuvolant. That's your powerful intellect. And your strong intuition make your communication persuasive. So being very powerful and intuitive can make others join to your team, come to you, flock to you from a million different directions all at once. It is important that you don't dominate with your thoughts, that you instead of dominating, empower others and yourself. This is key. There may be circumstances that force you to change or transform your habit patterns, your ways of being, your desk, your front, your floor bedding, your blue ceiling, your beliefs. These things force you to change your beliefs, to evaluate what beliefs are limiting and what beliefs are liberating, choosing to keep the liberating ones and discard the eliminating ones. So, creating a more meaningful and authentic life is a really, really key thing to do now. You will not appear as powerful, forceful, juxtaposing. You will appear as convincing, not on the fence, decisive, sharp, and convincing. You will appear this way at this time. Another aspect we have going on is the moon in Scorpio will oppose Uranus and Taurus. So they will be across the sky from each other now. This can bring about feelings of nervousness, anxiousness, and being easily distracted by things. So, probably not a good idea to heighten your sense of caffeine. Don't take a lot of coffee, don't drink a lot of energy drinks. Be mindful of how much caffeine you are taking into your system and how that's affecting you. This is a time where you may be waiting and preparing for a new cycle. We are starting a new cycle, a new lunar cycle on the new moon. This is now November 2nd, now it's just a day after the new moon, so you've already set your intentions and emotions, actually. So there is this need to change and stimulate on a deep level. There is this need for change and stimulation. You desire change and stimulation. You need to be apropos about life. You need to be um anomalated about life. You need to be sort of like things are a um, big ball of energy sort of thing. So this is what you feel like you need at this time. Another reminder here to have flexibility and adaptability because Uranus brings this changes. Uranus puts the lightning strike in. Boom. I'm going to change this. I'm going to shift this. I'm going to rearrange this sort of thing. I'm going to just completely break the structure apart and build something different. That's Uranus energy. It is not afraid to make those limiting structures crumble. Uranus is not afraid to disrupt the status quo in order for humanity to be at the higher evolution because Uranus represents humanity and the evolution of humanity. That's the Uranus signature. So home life and intimate relations are also affected. Now, these things you can find effective. You want change in your home life, you want your change in your relationships. This is what you need at this time. This is the direction to go in. This is the time to be free to be your authentic self while also not causing damage in relationships. So balancing your sense of independence, your need for independence, your need to do things your way with the other people's needs, what their ideas are, the ways that they need to go in, their ideas, their motivations, their plans that they have for you. So balancing these things out is super important now. It's important to advocate for yourself, asserting yourself and communicating to others that you need a greater sense of independence. So communicating these things is very, very important. Communicating your need for independence, saying, I need this space. I need to do my own thing now. I need to, dabble at this thing over here, dabble at that thing over there. So this is a good time to draw healthy boundaries as well. Drawing healthy boundaries. This is a good time for self-discovery and growth. And you may be flowing with the disruption and using it to change aspects of your life that need changing. You may find yourself doing this, where you're taking this disruptive energy and you're using it as a force of change. Instead of being super destructive, you're shifting. You're actually shifting what doesn't work in order to build something that does work you, that will serve you for the highest. That's what you're doing. The final aspect that is worth discussing on November 2nd is the moon is going to trine Neptune in Pisces. So when the moon is trine Neptune, the moon in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, a water trine. Relationships formed under this influence can be highly soul-searching, highly romantic, highly swing-pushing, highly basking in dreams. This is the kind of thing that we're looking into at this time. This is the time to deepen your romantic relationship. This is the time to feel more compassionate and unconditionally loving. You may be feeling these feelings very, very strongly, feeling like you want help, like you want to be there, serve, help, love other people unconditionally. This is great for any film, art, or anything creative or artistic, and it's good to find the harmony within these things as well. It's important to connect to others on a deep soul level. It's important to free yourself from familial obligations to pursue what you find creative, what you genuinely find is your creative bread and butter. It's good now to open that door and head into that world, head into that realm. You may be feeling a genuine warmth at this time, feeling more warm, feeling more tender. Um, and so your inner imaginative and sensitive life with the appropriate form of outer expression. So, feeling more imaginative, feeling more sensitive. You may be feeling this at this time. It's good to use this energies to channel into creative and artistic works or serving or loving others unconditionally. Either way. And so you may look to your inner realms. You may go into your inner world. Pisces is very much the inner world, the inner realm, looking at uplifting and inspirational qualities there. You desire people who have independent interests and people who are self-reliant at this time. This is good for artistic appreciation and cultural sensitivity as well. And projects that benefit you and others. You're doing this project for your benefit, but it's also compassionate prosperity. It benefits others, it serves others. This is great for selfless service as well. Serving with a selfless need to just genuinely give and make a difference. That's what this comes down to. The card that I pulled for this particular day is the card, so fitting, Transformation. So this is the transformation card in the Work Your Light Oracle. So transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. So you may find yourself not who you were, but also not who you are becoming. You're in the cocoon, you're in the chrysalis of the cocoon, and you're sort of shifting and mucking about in there in order to emerge as the beautiful butterfly. So this is an in-between phase. You're in the midst of this change, in this shift of cycles, in the shift of transformation. It is important to do your healing work on behalf of transformation with this transformational energy. Do that healing work. Do that work that shows that you are transforming. You may be changing at a cellular level. That could be another sort of advocacy of this. You're choosing a new way of living. You're choosing a new way of being. Maybe there's childhood patterns that have to come up and get healed as a result of you transforming. Um, and you may find new ways of self-care that can help you transform, new ways of self-soothing yourself that are helpful and beneficial for you. It is important to not put pressure on yourself to perform and act in a certain way. Allow for yourself to change, be adaptable, that kind of thing. Know that you are deeply loved. This is also a reminder to take care of your body. To really look after your physical health, to not overeat, to not eat too much sugar, to get enough exercise, to get enough sleep. All these matters are super important. And what I want to do is I want to read to you um just the section of this that talks about the card specifically. So let me find it. Here it is on page 106. So this is what it says. Saturn and the Black Madonna and the African goddess Oshun influence this card. Saturn represents destruction and transformation. The Black Madonna represents the underground and all that has been cast aside. And Oshun represents the tender love of the original mother. A retreating is happening, healing at the deepest of levels. While you are in this phase, don't put yourself under pressure to perform. So that's how I got that one. So that is all that I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you want to know my future uploads. You can also click the notification bell. That'll help you out with that. And you can consider sharing this video if you think someone will find this interesting and insightful. Bye for now, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.